Alright, hey everybody. So yesterday, February 26th, there was headlines about former WNBA player Renee Montgomery, and she was making headlines for becoming part owner of her former team, Atlanta Dream. So just with this, I just want to talk about her and her connection by the numbers, and then a little bit about Atlanta Dream in regards to MLK. But just to get started, look at the overlap with Renee Montgomery and part owner of Dream. He get 192 and 84. And a little bit of a history with WNBA. You'll have noticed that they were founded April 24th of 96, and yesterday to April 24th of this year was exactly 57 days away, and yesterday was the 57th day of the year. But what's interesting about the date that they were founded, April 24th, 1996, had date numerology of 124 when you take 4 plus 24 plus 96, and Women's National Basketball Association equals 124. So, what are the odds there, right? And then back to more headlines of Renee says that she makes history. And again, remember that we're in Black History Month. Black History equals 181, the 42nd prime number. Team owner and history both have Gematria of 42. And she wore the number 21, which when written out in word form equals 42. So another thing about, her making history in 2021 is she used to wear number 21. Pretty interesting. And then, so this is just to show, like, she's not the main owner of Dream, but they're definitely the one that she's making the most headlines out of the other two, because I have never even heard of the other two, Larry Gotzendiner and Suzanne Abar, or Aber. Never heard of them, but there's 3 current owners of Dream. It's just she's the one making headlines, and she even gets to use that pun, "My dream has come true." And what's interesting too is, like, earlier this year, January 20th, they just had to give information out on that specific date that they were getting close and like finalizing the purchasing deal with who's going to take ownership. Well, 121 definitely stands out, like 120, because Atlanta equals 120, Dream equals 120, Michael King Jr. equals 120, and that's his birth name, born in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're not aware, Atlanta Dream is named after his dream speech. So MLK has quite a alignment with everything. But taking that date, January 20th, when they first made that announcement, to yesterday's date was a span of 38 days difference. Atlanta Dream equals 38. Yesterday to MLK's death date, anniversary death date on 4/4, was also a span of 38 days. So interesting to see that, of course. And here, just to show, it is said on January 23rd of 2008, that's when the team was announced that they're going to be named Dream. And again, it's after his famous speech, Dream, or whatever, I have a dream. And so January 23rd being the 23rd day of the year, Dream equals 23. So, Gematria is just showing all, like, why it is the way it is. So crazy. And what else is interesting about Renee Montgomery? I can pull up her birthday real quick. I didn't include it, but her birthday is on December 2nd, and Martin Luther King's birthday is on January 15th. But if you were to take her birthday of last year, or, this will be the same every year, but the difference in their birthdays is exactly 44 days, like how he died on 4/4, and all the 44 tributes with, Black history, like how we got our first Black president, the 44th president. So much, but found that pretty funny. And just to point out too, same thing this month on February 9th, she had retired, Montgomery. And so on 2/9, Renee 29, ATL Dream 29. So, perfect date for her to retire. And think about it, I can't even remember what retire. Oh, it's 39. Okay. I thought it was 29. But anyways, just wanted to point that out. And then yesterday's date numerology, the 69 and 33 definitely stood out. And of course, talking about Atlanta Dream equaling 38, you can pretty much say that yesterday was a day leaving 308 days left in the year, like 38. But talking about that 69 and 33 reminded me of last year's big tribute with Breonna Taylor in the WNBA. Breonna equals 69 and 33, and I just want to point out that overlap with race war. But again, the WNBA dedicates season to Breonna Taylor last year on July 25th. And again, this is just a little cap of what happened with her. Like, she was shot in Louisville, Kentucky on March 13th, her birthday being on June 5th. But just seeing like the date that they put out, like their dedication to Breonna, from her death date to the day that, you know, this headline came out, was 19 weeks and 1 day, and Breonna Taylor equals 191. And then what else is interesting is because her birthday, June 5th of the year before her death, 2019, to her death on March 13th was her 283rd day of her age, and 283 is the 61st prime number, and Breonna Taylor in the most pure cipher equals 61. So, I mean, you know, just some things I wanted to point out in case people forgot. And then also taking note of her death date to the day that the WNBA gives her this dedication for this season was exactly 134 days. And again, the location where it happened, Louisville, equals 134. And then here in the WNBA finals, everyone had Breonna Taylor on the back of their jerseys, but they did so many tributes, like all these different t-shirts with Black Lives Matter, everything. So did NBA, but I feel like Breonna Taylor was like the head person, I guess. It wasn't so much George Floyd, it was all about Breonna Taylor. So I just wanted to point this out. And I always thought it was funny because the team, Seattle Storm here, had the girl named Breanna Stewart, or Brianna Stewart, you can pronounce it differently, but just seeing that Breanna and how hot of a season she had last year, I mean, just wordplay. And how the WNBA closed out the season, or the Seattle Storm closed out the finals on October 6th last year, like 10/6, and again, Seattle Storm won, and Seattle WA equals 106. I mean, so many 106s, like Justice for Breonna Taylor, 106, Black Lives Matter, 106, Black Power, Negroes Black, 106, I Can't Breathe, 106, Justice for George Floyd, 106. And I realized I forgot one that, you know, a lot of people were tweeting out and whatnot, especially, and one was by Beyonce, Rest in Power, if I can spell, George Floyd is another 106. So, I mean, just a bunch of 106s. So what are the odds that they close out on 10/6? But anyways, and from her birthday, Breonna Taylor's birthday, June 5th, to October 6th was exactly 124 days later. And again, Women's National Basketball Association, 124. And, you know, it was also a huge tribute to Sue Bird in her 19th season with Seattle last year, you know, because Seattle equals 19. And I did note that they won by 33 points, Storm did, and Sue Bird equals 33. Even her last name equals 33. And Bird, you think Larry Bird, who wore number 33. I mean, no coincidences there. But just to point out, Suzanne Bird equals 65, like Breonna's birthday, just, you know. And then one funny tribute that was caught that I had was her. So last year in her season of 2020, WNBA season, whatever, she had a total scoring points of 108. And given she only played in 11 games compared to like what she's normally playing in, like, well, let's see, where are we at? She's usually playing in like 30 some games. I don't remember why she didn't come back. I don't remember the big deal about that. I don't know if it was the whole coronavirus or what affected it all. But just noticing all her points like the years before over here, And then last year she gets 108, like on the nose 108. You just gotta wonder, because Suzanne Bridget Bird, her full name equates to 108. So, I mean, again, just everything's by the numbers. Gotta know Gematria, share it with everybody, even if they think you're crazy. But I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to point out all these tributes to MLK and Renee and all the alignments with the WNBA. And just, we shouldn't forget about Breonna Taylor and how big it was last year in the season. So, all right, we'll leave it there. See ya.